A fast-track peace deal could end the war in Ukraine sooner than expected, with elections and a referendum possibly set for May. But territorial disputes threaten to derail the plan, and President Zelenskyy warns that the clock is ticking. So can Ukraine and Russia meet the U.S.'s June deadline? Joining me now to discuss is Myroslava Gongadze, non-resident senior fellow at the Atlantic Council. Hello, Myroslava. Great to see you, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Great to see you as well. Thank you very much.
Yes. Now, Territorial is still the major holdup. Is there a consensus that can be made on this issue?
On territorial issue, what Russia is demanding and what analysts are saying that basically Russia cannot achieve their goal to occupy or to take away from Ukraine 4 oblasts. Now they are trying to achieve that goal through negotiation. However, it's not clear that Ukraine is any closer to actually giving up the territories, and honestly, President Zelenskyy cannot really do it himself because it has to be agreed by the public, by the people. So only if people will say during the referendum that to let Zelenskyy to give up territories, only that way it's possible. Right now, the question of the territories where this war is supposed to be. Like the line of freeze, that's still remaining in discussion, and specifically about the nuclear power plant, Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, that Russia very effectively turned into the military base. It would be very, very difficult to do anything with it because this is the ticking bomb in the middle of Europe.
Right, and I'm glad you mentioned that because if we look at the situation in and around Zaporizhzhia and there in Hodar, could both of those regions somehow be put together so that, I don't know, maybe a compromise involving both of them, that, I don't know, Ukraine receive control of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant and Russia goes back in return for maybe some territory in the Donbass? Is anything like that being discussed or being considered?
That would probably be the ideal situation if Russia would leave the territory. However, they did not take it just to leave it. It looks like, and how they're building up their defenses, they're planning to hold that. The only way I would see this moving forward if the international community would control that power station and the city around, and that Hodar around the power station. This is the only way I would say, because this is the only way that would guarantee that nothing would happen with that power station. At this moment, it's a really, really dangerous situation, dangerous precedent. I have been talking to many of the leadership at that Zaporizhzhia power station. I have been covering that story, and I can tell you, this is the Europe specifically have to really seriously think about it, because this is if something happened with that Zaporizhzhia power station, that can be a disaster for Europe.
Yes, it could be, and we don't hear much about that here in Europe. European, officials, politicians taking a stance on that. Now, what if Ukraine agrees to everything except giving up territory that it controls in the Donbass? Could this lead to the U.S. Forcing it to give in these negotiations? Do you fear that could be an issue?
I mean, what we see right now, additional deadline imposed on supposed to make this peace happen. However, we know that those deadlines, we have seen 3 or 4 deadlines, and I mean, obviously, this one is maybe more serious because it looks like the parties are more seriously even getting together, and that's what United States open to have the negotiation on the U.S. territory. That's somehow acceleration of the peace talk. However, we see on the other side that Russia is not stopping. They are bombarding Ukraine heavily, and that means that Russia is basically pushing. I mean, it's a negotiation tactics. They are trying to push the Ukrainian public, Ukrainian civil society, and to make more pressure. They are trying to make pressure on the Western community, showing that the price to help Ukraine and price to Ukraine to withstand would be high. And obviously, they are doing what they always do during the negotiation. They are pressuring to and holding their line that they set for themselves. So we see the acceleration of the diplomatic movement, I would say, but alternatively, we see the acceleration on the front line as well.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has said that Russia has offered the United States an economic cooperation package worth about $12 trillion, dubbed the Dmitriev package. Does this sound like a way for Russia to essentially buy a favorable peace agreement or peace terms from the United States?
I mean, we know that President Trump and his colleagues or his negotiators are very interested in a new, renewed possibility to make business with Russia, and that may be part of their goal to make this war stop, to get to business as usual. And Russia obviously learned that very well, and they are doing whatever is possible. We have to say that Ukraine and United States as well signed the business deal. So we'll see which business deal would win. But one thing I have to say, that the way that President Trump is pushing Ukraine, but as well as Russia, obviously he wants this peace to be done, and he wants this peace to be done before the midterm election in the United States. So maybe that's one of the calculation that they are making to bring that negotiation to the United States.
President Emmanuel Macron has recently said that the EU should open the way for direct talks with Vladimir Putin. Do you think that that this would help or hurt this peace process?
I mean, obviously, this war is not only about Ukraine, and it's long ago not only about Ukraine. It's about peace and security in Europe. So Europe have to find a way to put themselves in the middle of these negotiations. And one of the options, as we know, the security guarantees that were discussed among European nations. So far, Russia is not agreeing, as we heard, to foreign troops or European troops on the territory of Ukraine. But maybe that can be a part of this negotiation. So at this moment, every step toward peace would be commendable. The question is, again, and stayed the same. Is Russia ready for peace? So far, it does not look like. And even if this would not be secure peace, meaning that security guarantees for Ukraine and Europe probably know well that this war can renewed very fast.
Right, indeed. So it's probably something that's in the cards. Myroslava Gongadze, non-resident senior fellow at the Atlantic Council, thank you so much for joining us tonight and having this discussion.
Thank you very much.
And that concludes this edition of World News Tonight. Thank you for watching. Have a great evening, and see you next time. Good night.